Hi guys, Omar with Overlanding Just Cause, and in this video I am going to install the rock sliders on the GX460. I've had them for a minute. I've just been busy. Here they are. I've probably had these rock sliders for like 4 months. I ordered them from RCI. They got to me probably within, I'd say within the week. So it was pretty fast delivery. Originally they were bare metal because I saved like 200 and some change, and so I primed it, and then I used probably 3-4 coats of the satin Rust-Oleum. There's a bunch of videos on how to install rock sliders on the GX460. I'm not gonna make another one per se. It's not really a how-to, but if I do find something different or difficult, or yeah, a little tip, then I'll call it out on the video. But I know from watching the other videos that first I'm gonna take this off, I'm gonna cut them, and then I'm gonna go back underneath here and clean that area out. The holes that the bolts go in, I'm gonna clean those out, make sure everything's good to go, and then I'll put everything in. So that's how the process is gonna work. Stay tuned and see the end result. Let's go. I thought I was recording while I was doing what I've done so far. I wasn't. You know, rookie mistake. But taking this off was super easy. There's a bolt in the back where the wheel was, one in the front, and then a few, 3 brackets here, and it literally pops right off. You have to open the doors and it pops off. The second thing I did was spray this down with degreaser, and I cleaned it off, and then I took a couple brushes from my rifle cleaning kit, little bore brush, and got all the holes, make sure there was no dirt and stuff in there. So clean that out. So the next step is going to be to cut this, and I'll reinstall it, and then I'll come and get to the passenger side rock slider. Yeah, so off, cleaned, the holes that these go in, punch them out, and yeah, I mean, while I was at it, I cleaned up. A little bit more trimming because didn't cut low enough. So here we go. All right, guys, this is what I have so far. So a lot of these holes don't line up with actual threaded holes. So I'm guessing that they put these here for like 4Runners or Tacomas, right? It's pretty much the same slider, but maybe different hole configuration. So when I saw that they didn't line up, I started to freak out for a second. Then I realized, all right, there's a reason for that. So I've got 4 there, 3 here, and I've got 1 here. This one's 2 here, yeah, 3 here. I would have loved to get this one up here. Gosh, can't see. There's one right here where my finger's at, right above this one, right there, yeah. So I would have loved to get this one in, but I messed up the thread. So a little tip, just be careful when you first initially thread these. If you accidentally start it at an angle, you're gonna be screwed. So I've tried numerous times to get this one in and I couldn't. So I'm down that, but everything else looks good. You know, one thing that I'm not really happy with these sliders is they don't come all the way out. I would have liked to have this maybe right up to the edge. Same thing with the front up there. Yeah, it fell about 2.5, 3 inches short. And then as far as how they look on the outside, got the little bump out. Here's the front. And then again, I probably could have went a little bit higher on the cut, or at least sanded it down a little bit more. That's gonna rub. I'm gonna have to do something about that. But here you go again. It fell, I would say about 3 inches short. I mean, I think the slider should come all the way out. I've got this side cut, and what I ended up doing was, because I had to take the other one on the passenger side off like twice to make sure that it's not touching the slider, I just went ahead and got the dimensions from the passenger seat or passenger side and applied it to this. So a lot of cutting. It's fairly straight. It looks good from a distance. You get up close, you start seeing imperfections, but that's all right. From the videos I've watched, the driver's side is going to be the harder side because the slider has to slide under this. So you have to loosen up these lines. Can't mess around with this. That's the KDSS. And yeah, you don't want to start loosening up stuff and messing stuff up. So I cleaned it up and looks pretty good. Yeah, so now let's grab the slider and put it on. I am done, and here's the end result. Got the passenger side looking good. I measured it before and after, and I have saved 4 inches of ground clearance. That's crazy, just by cutting off the side step here. And as far as the cutting goes, I had to take this one off 2 or 3 times to get a little bit higher. And as you can see, I definitely did a little mess up there. But and then we come around to the driver's side, and the cut is much better because there was more practice involved already by that point. Let's take a look underneath. So underneath was a pain. Let me zoom out. So I had to take this plate off and this plate off. That's both for the KDSS. That protects the lines. This protects the KDSS system. So I had to take this off. I had to unscrew a couple of the lines that were bolted to the frame, and I had to slide the rock slider underneath, which by myself was a pain. But I had 2 5-gallon buckets, put one on this side, one at the end, put the rock slider on top of it, and kind of just maneuvered and did one side up, bolted just one bolt, not all the way in obviously, and then went to the back, bolted the other one out, pushed the 2 5-gallon buckets out, and just went to work. The driver's side is going to take you a little bit longer just because you have all this to mess with. I went ahead and cleaned the inside. There was a lot of dust and dirt and stuff built up under here. Same thing with that one. But I took it out, cleaned it. You see it's all nice and shiny. So is the frame. Obviously that's part of the prep. But A lot of protection. The only thing I don't like, and I mentioned this earlier, is about 2.5 inch up there that's not being protected, and I just wish it would have pushed a little bit further up. I didn't really think that was going to be an option or like a thing. I guess shop around, take measurements, and see what it actually is, and then see if there's a company that actually makes them a little bit longer. But there she is. One other thing that I added that I did not record because it's pretty much just straight up bolt on was the RCI engine skid plate. So that looks good. There it is. That was super easy. Just hold it up, get 2 or 3 bolts in, and you're on your way. But you see there, I did have to do some modifications only because I have a CBI bumper. This RCI would have only bolted on perfectly if it was like a factory type bumper, if I still had the factory bumper. But because I had the CBI, as you can see, it's right here. I mean, it's just laying right on top of the CBI bumper. But the holes didn't align. So what I ended up having to do is buy metal self-tapping screws. I drilled into the, right up here, but over there, right? Part of the bumper. Self-tap screws in. But there it is. It's starting to come together. It's, yeah, it's been fun. This one I'm actually recording piece by piece, you know, with the Commander. It was pretty much built, and then I started making videos and explaining, you know, certain things. But with this, is bit by bit. Like I said, I didn't really make a how-to on the sliders. I just watched a couple of videos that were already out, and yeah, they're pretty much right on point. You can do it by yourself. The driver's side is a little harder, but other than that, it was pretty easy. Just some time. I mean, I was taking my sweet time, taking breaks, but overall I started at 9:30, got done at, you know, like 3:30. It took all day, but well worth it. Looks good. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave any comments. Subscribe if you like, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.